Hey guys, it's True. Welcome to my video from a game I had in the world of tanks. I'm driving my 62A this game, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through this game and talk about some of the decisions I made. And I also want to focus on, in particular this game, about how I engage and how I trade fire with the enemies. And the reason I want to highlight this is because I thought I did some things pretty well this game that I think are worth mentioning to other players, because normally as you watch someone play you might see them doing these things but you might not consider it significant, and so when you go and play you may not emulate what's happening. And so let's just start out and talk about my positioning. So I decided to go one line this game. I figure I have a turret and there's an E100 on the enemy team, and that's a good matchup for me. I don't want to get right up in his face and brawl him, but from here, if he comes and tries to trade with me, I feel like I'm in a good position to fight him. And I see the 113 come and the 430, so this is good. I load heat right at the start, and I'm going to sit and wait. And we're just going to start this engagement with the E100. And it is 3-5-7 matchmaking, so as someone who likes to try to be a team player and someone who likes to try to go for wins over damage, I like to look at the map and see what's going on. And right away, right on the very start, I saw their 183 and the E100 were lit. And so I know there's me and a 113 here. That's a fair matchup. Oop, he's blocking me. That's a very fair matchup. Two of our tier 10s are here. Two of their tier 10s are here. So we can kind of fight this out. I mean, we do have a couple of tier 9s, and you'll see that eventually we do decide to push. And I'm really glad that Yag decided to take the hit from the 183 so we could continue this. Team player, good job. As you can see though, our hill is lost, and one concept I like to take with me when I play is it's important to win your side of the map as quickly as you're losing the other side of the map. And fortunately here we're able to do so. It can be difficult to push this, but this game you'll see it works out. E100 fires. I was not at a good spot, guys, to take a shot at him without getting hit. And so what I did is I waited for the 430 who was hold down. And as soon as he shot, I'm able to get a shot. The 113 is able to get a shot. And we just melt this E100 and we move on. And so here, in my mind, it's still okay to continue pushing. So I decided to go with these guys. ISU shooting HE. That's good to note. And we're going to go ahead and attack. And I do know, see the T30? I do know that that's a common position and I was worried about it. But we're good here. So we come up and this is just a basic fight. I'm ready to fight them. I want to get good gun depression, but these guys are kind of poking in front of me. And look at that. 113 takes a hit. I was willing to take that on my turret, but of course I don't want to. So most of my engagements so far have been hold down. Basically, the enemy could only see my turret and maybe a little bit of my whole armor. When I fought the E100 from the rock, he could see my lower and my side armor when I poked. And so what I had to do there was I had to wait for him to shoot. And it sounds like selfish. I had to wait for him to shoot a teammate, and that's what I did. But the 430 played well and got him to shoot at his turret from a hold down, and then we continued. And from here, this is a big decision to make, right? Do we keep pushing? Do we try to dig out the T30 and maybe more tanks and more TDs? I decide no. The 430 decides to keep going. The Victoria decides to go. And this is something that happens a lot in random battles, guys. Just because you win an area doesn't mean you should continue. And often that's kind of the mentality. The team thinks, oh, you won this, let's go, we can do anything. But looking at the map, I'm thinking, okay, let's imagine this scenario in my head. If I go all the way up here and I get in here, the T30's hold down. So I have to cross this and then fight him while he's in a hold down. And if I'm beating him, all he has to do is back up. And then if I chase him, I'm getting shot by the guys on hill. And to me, that's not worth it. Just for the T30. But as you see, there's a T34. There's an Object 430. I'm thankful I decided to come back. And what I decided to do here is I say, okay, I don't know how healthy the guys on hill are, but I'm going to try to go there. And I'm going to put myself with some teammates here. So I've got two TDs here, and I'm going to begin working with them. And this is why I'm thankful for fast tanks. If I were in a really slow tank and I had gone here, I would be pretty irrelevant in coming back and rejoining this fight. I would just kind of have to deal with my initial decision, and the flex is, it's not there. But when you're in a fast tank and you lose one side or maybe win one side and, crazy things are happening, the best thing you can do is kind of just go where your team is. And that's what I do here. So we won but kind of lost the West. And then I go and join my team over here. And there's some things I want to point out from my engagements up here with how I decide to trade with the enemy. You can see here, see how I poked that 30B? Instead of just lazy poking him and nosing out, I reversed out at an angle, kind of like a side scrape. And technically I'm not a heavy, but it still presents a smaller hittable target to the enemy. And for me, it was worth it. And that's kind of something I wanted to highlight in this video. And you're going to see me do that a little bit later here. When I engage the enemy, I kind of think of like poking in two ways. And one would be like a lazy engagement or a quick engagement where I don't take the time to get like gun depression, and I don't take the time to get in position and reverse out. And I just drive out, I take a shot, I just say, hopefully it doesn't hit me. That's a lazy engagement. And I do it sometimes. Okay, so here I spot the 430. I aim, I miss. He derps me with the bigger derp gun. I aim and I miss again. I get that luck back later on, so that's how the game goes. But you see how I engaged him. I got back into cover, I reversed out, and I kind of side scrape out and engage him. I could just be lazy and poke out and think, yeah, hopefully he doesn't hit me. But this habit you'll see me do here is well worth it. So here is kind of an aggressive poke, but look, now that we know where he's at, immediately, like smooth, guys, I come right out into this. So his shot on me is very small. He gets impatient, takes a shot, and then I just get to farm him. So a lot of players won't take that shot because they know the chances of hitting aren't great, and some players will, and you can really take advantage of them when they do. Guys, new engagement, T30. I have adjusted now because I've seen how he's come out, and immediately I get into a side scrape. I don't just nose out. I get into a side scrape, I take a clean shot, and he hits my side armor, and it doesn't pin, it hits a tracks or something, right? So now back into like a little bit of the game. I've been talking about like my engagements, and it's something that I have to think about a lot because sometimes I get into the point of whatever, I'll just go, and really losing health when you don't have to is kind of a bad habit to get into. And so I hope that's something you guys can think about from the video, is like a lazy poke versus a smart poke. And so right here, look, T30 coming out clean, right? I did this a lot this game, and it's something I try to do. The only time I would be willing to nose out on someone, and here I have to take a hit, and you'll see I make a mistake. I didn't want to expose to the scent and be in a crossfire, so I was willing to take that hit. The time where it's good to poke out nose first and just poke quickly and shoot quickly is if someone's at a distance and or they're moving. Because if they're moving, they're going to have a hard time hitting you anyways. And so I was pretty fortunate this game that we were able to turn it around. I wouldn't say it's because of some like Einstein level game IQ where I'm like, oh, if I come back over here, we can come back from this huge deficit. As you saw early in the game, we were down by a lot of tanks. But it's a simple concept that I play with. Hopefully you guys can kind of take that advice on like, is it worth it to make... Look at this guy. I was afraid he's going to rush me and shoot me, and he didn't. Is it worth it to take the time and get into the habit of always doing that? And I will say yes. I watched a video of Deca, and he almost always gets into like a good fighting stance, I will say, when he's engaging, and he doesn't poke lazily. He doesn't let them shoot him so he can shoot them. He almost always gets into a good position first. And I was proud of myself this game because I I carried that well. In the times where I didn't poke safely, it was because they were far away and or moving, like on the 430 initially, and it worked. So here, look, it ends up being an 8-kill game. It wasn't some Einstein strategy, but it was simple concepts like, you know, don't keep pushing something that you shouldn't, and move back and play with my teammates. And 3, make smart decisions on how I decide to engage the enemy. And doing those things allowed me to get here. If I were lazy and just kind of said whatever, this would have been an average game, guys. So thank you for watching, guys, and be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm a new channel and it means a lot to me. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I plan on putting more out in the future. So definitely subscribe. Hopefully I can help you on your gameplay. Guys, let's go out there, have some good games. Thank you so much for watching. Later, guys.